The Department of Tourism and Travel Management, Lady Keane College, Shillong is now open for admission. Join the 4 years Bachelor of Tourism and Travel Management professional program at Lady Keane College, Shillong and embark on a journey beyond borders. For more information, call the given number on the screen or visit the website www.ladykeencollege.edu.in.
Namarka jingnang jelai jong ki bapanon kam yau drugs kentop nadu ki badi hadu ki badi bat kumjuru ki kamsniu ki bami na ka jingdon jong ki nongpanon kam drugs ki bor sarkar ki bala jushim khia bani khon persya ya ka jingroi state jong neu ja jingdi ubala panjat ya ka jingem jong ki khon samla hapo ka jala kila nang panmi ya ki jingdon kam ban nang le bha da ki weipat ki sinjam khanang ban rat ding khong yau neu ja jingdi uba pol lung do bari menteri jong social welfare jong sarkar jala hak jing ekran bat ki nonglum khubor hak sngewbha jong tayo kata hak arpu phradare ku jemmang arjar arp saw han Nongbah ulai thu bag sarkar jala kalarai ban Pynduh ya ki village defense party ki bala judan lupa hak Shillong bapher hapo ka jala khamtam hak to ki jaka balai thu kum ki jaka bala jellai drugs khnang bon la ban rat nadu dingkhong yikini ki jingdi ki bapen bu aj hapo ka jala uba polong do ula kerani kene hak jing don lang jong ki he officer ka tanat ki kampo yeng ki officer na katanat social welfare bat ki seng trimon sngewbha ha secretariat shushu ulai thu bag sarkar kan sa shong bishar ye kam halor ka jingya lenti jong drugs reduction elimination and action mission lani kblatip kum ka dream ban pe thu bat pe bnia ki kam ki balale dak ne mission bat ru ban ile ban thau da ki but thamai ba kumno on le bani khon persya yau drugs hagaju kupor ka Jingpynkhlain mat ka Jingpynkhlain thamai ya ki lat kilanti ha ka ban Pynduh ya ki village defense party khamtam ha ka ban ithu ya ki jaka ba jellai drugs hapo ka Nongbah Shillong u ba polong do ulong ru batang ka sarkar marwei kanomla ban ni khon lemda dei ba ki bor Shillong ki ay ka jing trilang bar ula benrap ru bagri ki kamram mat ka benta jong village defense party ban yerap khanang ki pulen ha ka ban telakam ya ka shongsuk shongsang barula pentip ro basian ke sarkar kan sakhot ya ka jingelang ba kentup lang ya baro ki dor barsenong ka ban Sdang Shwa na Nongpoh Shillong.
Under the aegis of the DREAM mission, that is the Drug Reduction, Elimination and Action Mission. And at today's meeting, we had the presence of officials of the Home Police Department, officers of the Department of Social Welfare, various NGOs involved in the fight against drugs at various levels, the Malaria AIDS Control Society, and members of the mission, the DREAM mission. The discussions were wide-ranging and covered a lot of areas. We reviewed the progress of the DREAM mission, the various interventions that have taken place, and also we looked at the way forward and how to address the gaps that we noticed in tackling the menace of drugs. So in brief, that was the tone and the content of the discussions. And at this point of time, if you have any queries, you are open to take part. Major area of concern for us was the need to make the program more community oriented. We would not like to see DREAM as just a government initiative, but because it's very important that in order to eliminate and eradicate the menace of drugs and narcotics, we need to broaden the involvement of civil society. And one of the areas of discussion was on the revamping and reorganizing, and also to look at the possibility of organizing the village defense parties, especially in the identified hotspots. including the city of Shillong. So, in the last two sessions of interactions with Dot Barshnongs, there was a general consensus that the Shnongs would like to be involved uh, in identifying and also tackling this menace. So today's discussion, we focused on the possibility of strengthening the presence of VDPs across the state of Meghalaya. Well, one of the gaps was, for instance, the fact that the various Shnongs felt that they are not adequately empowered, and for some of them to even identify and be involved in the process of taking a person, an accused, and registering cases against them in the police station becomes a very cumbersome task. So that was one area. And we thought that better policing would happen if we are able to involve the communities through the VDPs. That is going to be a major initiative that we are going to revamp and revive the presence of VDPs across the state. Because under the Act, the rules are being framed. Uh, the rules governing VDPs, if you go through the rules, uh, the duties and functions of these VDPs include A, to assist the police in the maintenance of law and order, peace and tranquility when needed. Okay, then to carry out patrol and watch in the area allotted for the party to prevent theft, burglaries, dacoities, and other unlawful activities for protection of public lives and properties, and three, to prevent commission of crime. So drugs come under certainly under the ambit of the duties and functions of these VDPs, and they will be adequately trained. There are various sections that deal with this particular aspect, and we will be calling very shortly a general meeting involving the various Dorwashongs, beginning with Greater Shillong. No, I think it's a gross misrepresentation of facts to say that government is not supporting. We are supporting as many as nine de-addiction centers, uh, and also the de-addiction activities that are taking place. For instance, the latest example I can cite is Molai, where well, we will address this issue by trying to tighten the grip of the state because these rules under NDPS can be amended from time to time as and when the need arises. So that aspect can be covered. Well, on the de-addiction centers, we have made repeated appeals for the community to come forward, and more than anything else, we also need the presence of professionals because they would be the one who will be giving the the counseling, the proper counseling. Then we also need medical intervention on a daily basis. These are challenges which we will try to overcome under this mission, and taking a cue from what the Maulai town Nongbah has done, we are making this fervent plea to the other Dorbas to also come forward, and together we can set up more de-addiction centers. And on the other aspect which you mentioned, there is activism on the part of NGOs, but we think that the correct course of action would be for us to engage the local community, which is why the idea of reviving the VDPs is very important, because then members of civil society can assist in tackling the menace of drugs in a manner which is legal and which is acceptable under the legal framework without them unwittingly helping the case of the accused by, for example, tampering with evidence, snatching the consignment from the users and peddlers, which then would become difficult for us to build up a case against the accused in a court of law.
So there is already coordination happening. There's something called NCORD, Narcotics Coordination Committee, which meets frequently, where a lot of input is shared between different northeastern states and with the center. This is under Ministry of Home Affairs. So a lot of coordination is required, as you rightly pointed out, and that is happening. And there are institutional mechanisms within the government setup between central government and state governments to have these NCORD meetings, which is being chaired by the Narcotics Control Bureau, which has an office in Guwahati. So they coordinate with different state governments to have these meetings and to share intelligence inputs between various agencies.
By the Meghalaya AIDS Control Organization Society, MAX we call it. So in the mapping which was done in 8 districts, it's about 3,100 odd number is there. So that's the kind of thing. Who are actually, using the IUD, intravenous. So for them, actually, there is a very mechanism. In fact, it's a very good work that Max is doing. Essentially, how they can, they will not spread this, so that like they will not use the same injections, which actually can be a problem, and also providing some, OPD, basically opium waste, opium substitute therapy, so that they will get into the oral intake, and slowly they are coming down. In fact, a very significant number has come down with that number.
As reported by Max today, there is a 96% recovery rate, meaning that out of the
Yes,
numbers
yes.
that he mentioned, 36% of those are people who are recovering.